This is the farthest northwest point in the continental U.S., Cape Flattery. I came here hoping for peace, but the day turned out so differently than I had hoped. Stay tuned. Hi, good morning, and welcome back to Miles to Myself. I'm Michelle, and thank you for joining me today on my story about what I thought was going to be a day that was going to be so peaceful and beautiful, and it turned out so differently. So here's what happened. I started out at the museum, the Makah Museum. Sharpie decided he's coming in now. Hello, Sharpie. And I had to leave him in the car because there was no way he was going to be allowed to go into the museum. It was a cool day outside, so there was no problem there. But I felt guilty leaving him in the car. I left him in the car. I went on the museum visit. There was so much culture and storytelling, and the gift shop was absolutely fabulous. Everything that a purchase there went right to the tribe. And I strongly believe in supporting tribal nations. Their whaling canoes, oh my goodness. They had regular wooden canoes that they shaped and crafted themselves going back centuries. They fought whales. Can you imagine? I grew up watching Jaws, and that terrified me. They were in this little boat, with the two arms on the side to keep it level, and they fought this big shark. That was fake. We know that. But here, this was real. They're in this canoe. They're out paddling, and they've got a spear. And there's a big whale on the side of the boat. It can rock the waves. They're, spearing the whale in a canoe. Unbelievable. This is real life. It was crazy just to read about it and think about it. There were no photos allowed in the museum, so the only photo that I got was the door going into the museum itself. I would have loved to have been able to snap some pictures. There was so many artifacts and stories from their tribe. It was eye-opening. The lady at the register at the museum was good enough to give me a map that showed me how to get to the rest of the tribal lands, because that's where Cape Flattery sat. You needed to buy a special permit in order to get onto the lands. So Sharpie and I drove our way to Cape Flattery. We found a nice spot to park. It was super packed on that trailhead. We got there, and there were these walking sticks that they left at the trailhead, and I grabbed one of those because I thought that was so cool. What a mistake that was, trying to manage a dog with a bag just in case he pooped and this walking stick. And of course, he was super excited to be out of the van, so he pulled me and pulled me and pulled me, and then I was doing my best to keep up with him. We turn a corner and we come face to face with another dog. And Sharpie was attacked by coyotes a couple of years ago. He does not care for other dogs being in his face. So here we see this other dog. They pull their dog back. I'm trying to pull Sharpie back. He is a little dog, but he is a strong bugger. And I was on unlevel ground. So as I started to pull him back, he's pulling me forward. I'm on top of this stone walkway going down. He's pulling me. I almost fall flat in my face in the mud and the stone. I've got the walking stick that I should have dropped, but I didn't. I had that. I had the dog. I had the poop bag. It was a mess. It was a disaster. I thought, this is it. I'm going to fall down, crack my head. No more Michelle. Well, luckily, I got the dog under control before I fell down and cracked my head open. They got their dog under control. What a stressful time. And that's how the rest of my walk went. All the way down to the trail end. My goodness. It was supposed to be a peaceful walk. It was beautiful. there was so much beautiful nature to see on this trail. And then you get to the end. But every turn that I'm making, I'm thinking, am I going to come face to face with another dog? I couldn't relax. So, I made the best of it. And it sounded like in my video yesterday that I was really enjoying it. And I did really enjoy it. And I wish that maybe I had left Sharpie in the van so that I could have had a nice walk on my own. But I hate leaving him cooped up in the van. So, I said this a few months ago. My therapist, when I first started this journey, I had a therapist, and she said, you need to get out and have experiences, right? Not just living day to day, bed, work. Go out and have experiences. And I said, how in the earth am I supposed to have experiences when all I do is work, bed? I'm too exhausted to do anything else. So that's how I started Vanlife. So she said, they don't have to be good experiences. They just have to be experiences. Well, I certainly had an experience. Whether it was good or not, that's debatable. I did get to go to the very far, northwest of the United States, the contiguous part of the United States. Maybe next year I'll go to the very northwest corner of the United States in Alaska. I don't know. But this year I made it here, and that's all I have to say about that. Once we got off of that trail and on our way back, he was exhausted from pulling me all the way down. And I could tell because we had steps to go up, because now we have to climb all the way back up the trail. And he was missing steps. We going much slower, a much better pace for me. All I could think is, I just wanted to find some peace here at the edge of the world. But sometimes the road doesn't give you what you want. Peace for me that day was finally getting back to the van. It was funny. On my way back with Sharpie, I met a couple, and they were impressed that I was from New York, drove all the way across the country. And they heard me say to Sharpie, we're back. We're safe now. And I heard them laugh behind me, because that's how it felt. I felt like I was in a war with these other dogs. So anyway, we got back to the van. I put him back in, sat in the front seat. That was it. It was relaxing. So that's my message for today. It's not all these beautiful sunsets and serenity. Sometimes it's messy, it's loud, and it's unpredictable. But even then, the road teaches me something. Hey, that's my story for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Stick around. I'm going to have more van life stories. Subscribe, follow. Thank you very much for being with me today, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.